Yeah, because the scratches were so late, like we didn't find out about Stewie till, well, we didn't find out about Piff for sure. We knew things were happening earlier today, but we didn't find out about Stewie at all until we were getting on the bus. So, of course we talked about, quote unquote, next man up, but we really were just kind of on the fly out there. I mean, at one point we had essentially 5 guards, having Steph and Gabby playing the 4 and the 5. So this was, I mean, there are times in my career where I'm like, I think I've seen it all. And then this happens where, like, again, you said the scratches were literally right before the game. So I don't even know that we talked necessarily adjustments. We just had to like figure it out on the fly.
And then I guess just with all of that being said, then just your thoughts then on the way you guys sort of played tonight. It just looked like you were scrapping, clawing, and just trying to figure it out.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, that's what it felt like. I think there were stretches where we thought we were good, and then we got a sub in, and we're like, oh wait, but it happens. But we're going home, so we'll get to work, watch film, and figure out how to be better moving forward.
Awesome, guys. Thank you.
Thanks, Percy. Jeff Brown, go ahead, Jeff.
Yeah, obviously not the outcome you guys wanted, but what are some positives you can take from this game?
I mean, listen, it was ugly for us. I think whatever you all interpreted out there is probably what it felt like for us. Just feeling out of sorts at times. So I think the positive is that even through all of that, we're playing against a team that they've added 2 new players recently. So I'm sure they're kind of ironing out some kinks, but they had their full roster. And at one point we were able to cut it back to 5 within striking distance. So I think the plus we can take is that we didn't give up. I know the score at the end of the game does not make it look like that, but I can tell you within our huddles, and I can tell you out there, even through, some of the miscommunications and some of the, tough plays, whether it's giving up an O board or turning it over, we stayed together. And I hope we can build on that aspect of things.
And then one for Jewel. Defensively, you guys gave up the 95 points tonight. I guess either what wasn't working for you or 97, yeah. What wasn't working for you, and what was Phoenix doing that worked so well?
I mean, the matchups were, like we said, there was times where we had 5 guards. I mean, it's hard to stop Tina when you have a post player, so having a guard is a little different. But I mean, yeah, it's sometimes they made tough shots. All of our turnovers as well, that didn't help either. But like I said, we'll watch film and get better and figure out how to cut down these turnovers and save some possessions.
Thank you, guys.
Hey, thanks, Jeff. Michelle Vopel, go ahead, Michelle.
Yeah, this is for Jewel. I know obviously you came back, but it looked like you got hit pretty hard on that screen there early in the game. Could you tell us what happened there and just how you were able to come back from that?
Yeah, just hard screen. Yeah, a little stinger, but I'm gonna always try to, if I can play, I'm always gonna try to play for our teammates. So yeah, I'm all right.
And Sue, you said you feel like you've seen everything, and then something like this happened.
Then COVID happened.
Yeah, exactly. But is this a type of season where you think a lot of, I know there's always injuries, but because of, unfortunately, COVID still happening and different things, is this going to be, especially early in the season, where we're going to see games like this where teams have to just adjust and go with who they have?
Yeah, I mean, I've actually thought about this a little bit, and I think the way I see it is, if we can learn from the NBA, which we've actually been pretty lucky, right, the last 2 years, in that the NBA has seemingly gone first, right? They've had to play seasons before, and we got to learn from the things that they did and the protocols they used. And what is unique now is, yes, they had to play with Omicron. I mean, now we're getting into COVID terminology. This is wild talking about viruses in a press conference. they had to deal with Omicron and what you saw. So two things, the two directions I'm going here is what you saw was they were able to pull from the G League. And I fear, given the new variants, not to get too in the weeds on like the COVID-y stuff, but given the new variants, this is a little different now. We travel commercial, when we're on the road, we're in public places in order to eat, the hotels we stay at. So it is a little different, not a little, a lot different. And so with the new variants and with all of those things that I just mentioned, and the fact that we don't have a G League to pull from, one would imagine, like the assumption would be that this might happen a lot. Obviously, I don't hope that for anyone or wish that upon any team. It just seems kind of like the logical direction. But again, who knows? Like we could go through this whole season and not have any issues. But given that the season has just started and we already are starting to see it, obviously Natasha Cloud is one that is in protocols. So you have the Mystics and us, two teams that are currently on the road. Is there a connect, or they were on the road, we are on the road. Is there a connection there? I don't know, perhaps. But again, like I said, we go on the road, we have to eat somewhere. You know what I mean? Like we're in hotels around other people on top of the commercial flying. So Michelle, your guess is as good as mine if it's going to happen. COVID seems to be a pretty tricky virus. So I would imagine you're going to see it, and it's unfortunate.
Thanks, Sue.
No problem.
Thanks, Michelle. M. Adler, go ahead, M.
Yeah, just to follow up on that, before I ask something else, just to follow up on that, what has it been, or how much do you think the risk of flying commercial adds, or how much does that make up of this risk? Do you think that's most of it for you?
Like, ask Dr. Fauci. I don't know. Who knows? Like, I'm sure being on a plane unmasked is not like a great variable you want to throw in the mix to all of this. I would just imagine.
Airports, baggage claim.
Yeah, airport, the whole thing, just like public places, right? So it's like, it's just another variable to all the other variables in our lives. And because we're in season, there's some uncontrollables. We're going to be around other people. When you're just someone who when you're someone who has a little more control of your surroundings, it might be different. We just don't. It's just what it is. But I don't know. Like I said, like ask like I don't know, like a virologist. Yeah. I don't know who to ask. A flight attendant, or aren't we having already delays and whatnot because of lack of flight attendants and lack of pilots?
Gotcha. Yeah, fair enough. So I guess back to basketball. I had asked Jewel about this after the Lynx win. Want to ask you as well, just what is the benefit you've seen from being able to play with defenders like Gabby and Bree this year?
What do you mean? Just in general?
Yeah. Just how much it's improved the defense for you in the backcourt this year.
Yeah. I mean, just individually, they're extremely skilled defensively. They both can guard multiple positions. And whenever you have players like that who have that versatility, it's really helpful. It really helps both, like obviously their own individual defense, but our defense as a whole. And they've only been here like a week. So, I imagine it'll only get better and better as we learn each other. Because sometimes a lot of people talk about chemistry offensively. There's a chemistry to be had defensively as well. So I would imagine, again, with their talent on that side of the ball, it'll just get better and better.
Gotcha. Thanks. And then I just wanted to ask Jewel, obviously, the top people in your rotation, y'all have been together for a number of years. You have good chemistry, as just mentioned, but, offensively, it seems like just sort of stands out for the chemistry y'all have in the pick and roll, just her angles, ability to pick up passes from you. Is that something that stands out to you on the court, her ability as a roller?
Yeah, I mean, she's super long and athletic, so a lot of times I try to throw it up to her and like go get it. She's been here 3 years, and she's like one of the people who's been here the longest from some of the newest people. So just playing with her and understanding where she wants the ball. But like I said, she's super athletic, and it helps when you have that kind of body and that ability to do that. So it makes us sometimes our bad passes look pretty good.
Great, thanks.
Thanks, Em. Let's go to Christos. Christos, go ahead.
Hello, ladies. Hope you're doing well. Joel, question for you. How was the vibe in the team when you learned that Stewie was unable to play tonight?
Yeah, like we mentioned before, I mean, we found out, a little bit before we got here. So I think we're kind of just like, that sucks. Like we can't really change it. I don't know, like it's a bummer, right? I mean,
accurate.
Yeah, just like, all right, well, we're here. It's a 2-minute bus ride, so we don't have that much time to soak about it. But I mean, next woman up, that's what we said in the locker room, and that's what we try to produce today. So obviously want them to be healthy and get well, but we had to come here and play the game.
Thank you very much. And Sue, question for you. In that game, tough loss for you guys. 15 turnovers. The Mercury outscored you in second and fourth quarter. What did you learn from that game? What was the biggest lesson from your perspective?
I'm not really sure. It's I mentioned earlier, I don't know if you heard, the one thing I'm going to take away from this game is that regardless of the score, regardless of the play, we did stay together. And I think that is a good sign because, there's no way to know when Stewie's joining the team again, when Piff's joining the team again. So this is it right now. And a team that stays together and can kind of weather these moments and these types of storms. Regardless of outcome, you can build on that. So that's what I'm taking from this game.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Christos. Percy, Allen, did you still have one more question?
I'm sorry, guys. No, my hand's raised. Sorry.
No worries. Just want to make sure I didn't skip you. And I noticed we had a media member there in the room. Did we have a question in the room?
So the addition of Charles and DeShields, how do they look different to you compared to how you've seen the Mercury before? What do they bring that kind of changes their look a little bit?
Would you like to answer? Tina, I'm like trying to think of how it's like, if BG were here, right, this would be a different answer. Because with BG, they've always had this inside presence that you've had to double team and worry about on the block, and it creates all kinds of issues. This is speaking from a Seattle perspective. With Tina, had they had both, again, different conversation. With Tina, though, now they have a player that you have to worry about on the block, that you have to think about double teaming at times when she gets going. So in some ways that has stayed similar, but then you do have Diamond, who's really crafty on the wing. She's got size. And they've had that in previous years. So, but obviously Diamond's, different from whoever they've had before. So it's tough. It's like there's similarities, but they're obviously two different players that weren't here prior. More than anything, you can tell they're playing a different style with a new head coach. Like the style is a little bit different. I don't know if that really helped you or answered your question.
Yeah.
Well, and then too,
Anything to
it
add?
does-
Yeah, that's
It
Yeah.
extends with the 3-point range too.
That's
right?
true too. Yeah. Actually, so, okay, good point.
I feel like
So
Tina always
that's
shot it
another-
there.
What?
I feel like, oh yeah.
No, I'm
She shot it
Phoenix.
more,
Yeah. Like they didn't have
Phoenix, yeah.
a post
Second time,
player
yeah.
previously that could stretch the floor that way.
Yeah.
So in that regard, yeah, that is a new look. She can obviously do both inside and outside.
Getting to the end of both of your careers, do you think about it all when you're on the court with Diana, or does it not even, it's just the game and you don't? Because there's one stretch where she had a 3, you had a 3, she had a 3. And it's like, they're
Still doing it. Looks a little
But I-
different, I'm sure,
Yeah.
but still trying. No, I don't really think of it in those ways. Maybe because the season, it's still so early, obviously Dee, we don't know what Dee, her future plans are. For me, I've said this is likely my last season. And I am trying to like enjoy it in the in-between moments. But yeah, I don't, so far, and again, I think this because it's early, I haven't had the like, oh, this is my last time doing this or that. Of course, going against Dee has been both challenging, annoying, fun. I'm really glad I was able to give her a car rag, so there's a plus. Maybe she'll get another one at the end of the season. But it's been amazing playing against her. And so I do always value those times where we go head to head. But I haven't gotten like in my feels about it just yet.